Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Samantha and I make videos on minimalism, my low buy no buy lifestyle, intentional living and productivity. So today I wanted to share with you 35 items which can make your home look cluttered. Now I started my minimalism and no buy low buy journey about a year and a half ago, and within that time I've realized that there are so many things that can really make your home look cluttered. My husband and I are currently living with my parents in their attic conversion, and we're both minimalists. We don't have a lot of possessions, but even so we really need to work hard to make sure that our space is as clear as possible. I actually have a room tour / studio apartment tour of our living space, which I'll link in the cards above and also in the description below. So without any further ado, I'm going to get straight into my list, and the first thing that can make your home look really cluttered are visible wires and cables. One way to tackle this in your home is to cover them up with boxes made specifically for that task. My sister found a box that we have dotted around our house in areas where there are loads of wires. She found it on Amazon, and I'm going to link that product in the description below. Anything that I mention in this video which I think will be helpful, I'll link in the description below. The next thing that can make your house look cluttered are too many knickknacks. Now it's obvious why you'd want to display all your lovely showpieces and souvenirs, but too much of a good thing can become a bad thing. So it might be an idea to do regular edits, or you even might want to rotate your knickknacks if you don't want to get rid of any. That just makes things look cleaner and people can pay attention to the things that you have on display without being overwhelmed by too much clutter. The next thing is having too many vibrant colors and clashing patterns. Now I'm not one of those people who think to have a minimalist lifestyle you just need to live with plain white walls, but the fact of the matter is plain walls can give you a real feeling of space and clarity. So if you do want to use vibrant colors and colorful cushions and whatnot, just use them judiciously. Not every wall has to be a different color and not every cushion has to be a different pattern. The next thing is poor lighting. Dark areas in your room can make things look gloomy and cluttered, and it's really easy to fix this. Just put in spotlights or additional lighting. We have a really dark area in our room where we've just stuck a cheap IKEA lamp, and it totally transforms that space at nighttime. The next thing is not having enough storage. Now Andrew and I are trying to buy a home at this point, and we are looking at different houses, and one of our top priorities is making sure that there is enough storage. Now neither of us have a lot of possessions, as I mentioned. I actually counted up all my possessions and I have about 450 items. I actually documented it in a video on this channel. I'm going to link that video in the cards above and also in the description below. But even with a fairly modest number of possessions, we still need a lot of storage. Andrew has a bike, he also has golf clubs, he also has a drum kit, and I have my filming equipment, so lights, tripod, cameras and whatnot, and these things are very unsightly to have on show, so you need to make sure that you have enough storage where you can put these things away. The next thing that can make your space look cluttered is mismatched storage. Now we've already talked about larger storage areas, but you might want to invest in storage bins for your miscellaneous items. I bought these 4 drawers storage boxes from Wilkinson's, and I think they're actually quite ugly. I would suggest investing a little bit more money on something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I really like these storage bins that you can find in Amazon, and again, as I said, I'll link them below in the description. The next thing that can make your house look cluttered is too many plants. Now plants are a really great way to make a space look inviting and warm, but if you have too many indoor plants, it can start to resemble a bit of a greenhouse, so you want to avoid that. The next thing is too much wall decor. I really like wall decor, but again, this is another area where you can become a little bit excessive. I know that gallery walls are really popular. I personally don't like them too much because they can become so busy so quickly. I prefer 2 or 3 larger pieces where you can really pay attention, but if there's like too many frames, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So if you do have a gallery wall, just think about how many frames you're putting together all at once. The next thing is overfilled bookcases. I was very guilty of doing it with this bookcase. I was starting to stack books one on top of each other like that, and also too deep. So I did a little declutter this weekend and I got rid of some trinkets, got rid of some books, and it looks a lot fresher, a lot cleaner. The next thing is too many fridge magnets. My family and I always buy a fridge magnet when we go on holiday. It's one way that we keep our souvenirs to an absolute minimum. But as you can see, our fridge door, in my opinion, is starting to look a little bit cluttered. A lot of these magnets are also mine and Andrew's, so once we move out out, we'll be taking our magnets with us, so this fridge door should look a lot cleaner when we're out of here. The next thing are coat racks. An overfilled coat rack in your hallway can make that space look so messy. My parents did a full refurbishment of their house a couple of years ago, and then we made the decision not to have a coat rack, because in the UK you're not going to have just one jacket, you're going to have 2 or 3 jackets. And what's inevitably going to happen if you have a coat rack in the hallway is you're going to start stacking your coats 2 to 3 deep, and it becomes so messy so quickly. So we've decided not to have a coat rack, and everybody is responsible for their own coats. They just take them upstairs to their own bedrooms and keep them in their closets, keeping that space entirely clear. The next thing that can make your hallway look quite messy are your catch-all areas. Say you have a bowl where you put all your keys, or a hanger where you put your bag and your scarf, etc, etc. Because these areas are so convenient, people may not notice that the space is getting messier and messier. So what I would suggest is taking a step back, looking at your catch-all area in your hallway with the eyes of a stranger, and thinking whether things are looking a little bit too cluttered, and if they are, maybe just edit things down a little bit. The next thing that can make your home look cluttered is mail. Unopened mail and junk mail in your hallway again looks really messy. Get into the habit of tackling the mail straight away. As soon as you enter, just open up all your mail, throw away what you don't need, and once you get into the habit, mail just won't accumulate in that space any longer. The next thing are shoe racks. Now a lot of people have open shoe racks, and that's where I think the mistake is. Nobody wants to see your manky old shoes, even if you love them and you get loads of wear out of them. Just get closed shoe racks. This is one that my sister bought from Amazon and we love it. I couldn't find this exact model, but I did find similar alternatives. Again, I'll put the links in the description below. The next thing that can make your home look messy are cluttered nightstands. Obviously you need stuff at night like your book or your Vaseline, a hand cream, etc, etc. A really easy solution is just to put stuff away in the drawers the morning after the night before. The next thing is similar, that's cluttered bathroom counters. Just put stuff away in cabinets and drawers, but if you find you have so many products that they're spilling onto the countertop, just take a step back and ask yourself if you need everything that you're using, if you need all of those products, or if you need them all out at once. The next thing that can make your house look cluttered are coffee table books. Now I know this is controversial for some people, but I really like all of my items to have a lot of functionality, and if I or my guests aren't flicking through those coffee table books on a regular basis, then I don't think that they have a real place in my home. Also, our coffee table area is a really high traffic area. We all have tea together in the evenings, so those bulky books would be getting in our way. The next thing is paperwork. Now I've talked about this time and time again on my channel. I digitized all my paperwork, so I currently have 2 folders, one for my certificates and one for my tax stuff. It was really daunting to tackle all of my paperwork. I used to have these big bins where I'd keep all of that paperwork, and for years I wanted to get rid of it, but I was too scared. But then when I started my minimalism journey, I really bit the bullet, and it really didn't take that long. It took 2 hours to photograph everything that I needed, to upload it onto the cloud, and to also create a digital filing system that's really convenient for me. I think it's important to spend some time creating a filing system that will work for you. I love the one that I use. It's all dated, so if for example my accountant wants something or my HR lady wants something, I just go into my digital files and get them exactly what they want. And because of that, I've got so much confidence to actually get rid of all my paperwork and be okay with using just digital copies. The next thing is workspace clutter. My desk can sometimes get really messy, and it's because I have a tendency to hold on to my old journals. I find it quite difficult to get rid of them, but I still do. I do bite the bullet, and every 2 or 3 months I'll have a clear out and get rid of all of the journals that I've used up. And once you get into the habit, the sentimentality does die down a little bit. The next thing is clean laundry that's left sitting out. Now we're all human, and sometimes laziness attacks us all, and we leave this clean laundry out for days and days, but really again it's a matter of building up good habits. If you get used to just putting your clean laundry away straight away, it will really become the norm, and clean laundry left sitting out will become the exception. The next thing that can make your space look messy are too many hangers. Hangers have a way of accumulating, and especially if they're mismatched and they're not serving any purpose, it can make the inside of your closet look really messy. So I would collect up all your old hangers, try to recycle them, donate them, or sell them, and if you can't, then simply get rid of them. And just be really careful to not invite more hangers into your home when you go shopping. Just say no when they offer to give you the hanger with the item that you've purchased. The next thing that can make your home look cluttered are too many boxes. Now I've mentioned boxes in the last 2 or 3 videos, and people are going to think I have a vendetta against boxes, but I've been burned so many times by keeping hold of pretty boxes thinking, oh, I might use them for storage one day, and I never have. If you don't have a specific specific reason to hold onto a box, a specific idea of how you want to use it, then get rid of the box, because the chances are you're not going to use it and it's just going to end up being clutter. The next thing is oversized furniture. As Andrew and I look at different homes, we've noticed that people have a tendency to really buy oversized furniture for the space, and it really makes things feel very claustrophobic and it puts us off. If you don't have space to walk comfortably around a piece of furniture, then it's too big for your space. The next thing is too much furniture. It's really important to buy furniture for the space that you have, not for the space that you wish you had, or buy a piece of furniture that you've fallen in love with. Rooms and furniture really need to work in cohesion. The next item, again, is going to be fairly controversial. It's throw pillows. I absolutely hate throw pillows. I find them super non-functional. I don't find them comfortable. I always have to push them to the side when I'm sitting on a sofa, but I know some people love them. So this is just a suggestion, as is everything on this list. I do understand that sometimes throw pillows can be used for a nice pop of color, and if that's the case, then go for it. But personally for me, I don't like throw pillows, and I think people often end up using too many throw pillows as a rule. The next thing is blankets. I'm a little bit more kinder in my feelings towards blankets because I feel cold all the time, and more often than not, I will snuggle into a blanket while I'm watching TV, but we don't have these blankets out. We've got an ottoman with some built-in storage where we put the blankets away after we've used them. The next thing is too many towels. Now this is a real point of contention between myself and Andrew. I only own 2 towels and 2 hand towels, whereas he has an abundance of towels and he likes that feeling of abundance. So that's a compromise that I've had to make. I have to live with all of these towels that we have, even though I'd love for him to declutter it. And that's the thing with being a minimalist. You really need to respect other people's boundaries. What you like for yourself, other people might not like. On the whole, we're pretty much on the same page when it comes to the number of possessions we have, and it's just a few towels, so I can live with it. The next thing is a kitchen sink full of dirty dishes. This is similar to the clean laundry point. We're all human and sometimes laziness overtakes, but try and make it a habit to tidy your kitchen every night. Just load the dishwasher or hand wash your dishes if you don't have a dishwasher. And so the next morning you wake up to a lovely, fresh, clean kitchen and you can enjoy making your coffee and breakfast. The next thing is open shelving. Open shelving is actually really difficult to maintain, and you have to be a super neat freak, I think, in order to make sure that it looks okay and not cluttered. So I'd advise against too much open shelving. Just have closed cabinets where you can put away your mess so it doesn't become an eyesore. The next thing that can make your home look messy is an unmade bed. I'm very guilty of leaving my bed unmade, but luckily for me, Andrew loves making the bed, and every time he does it, I'm just thinking, wow, this is so nice. Why didn't I do it? I could have cleaned up my space so quickly. The next thing is hanging bags and accessories. I really hate it when people display these items. I don't care if it's a designer bag, I don't care if it's Chanel or YSL, or if a scarf is Louis Vuitton. I really think that these things make a room look super messy if they're out on display. Just put these things away in your closet and the space will look much clearer. The next item is dark curtains. Now this point is quite similar to the dark lighting point. It can really bring down the mood of a room if your curtains are too dark. Light and bright is always a safe option, especially for smaller spaces. The next item is dark colors. Now if your room is really big, it can handle dark colors, and some people are really good with colors. I personally just like to stick to white and the safe options because I don't have a great design eye. If you do, then have at it, and if you've got a space that can take it, then definitely go for it, but I think dark colors have to be used judiciously. The next thing is having no clear division of spaces. I absolutely love open plan living, but if you're going to have your kitchen, your dining space and your lounge all in one area, it's really important to zone off these sections so that things from the kitchen don't end up in the lounge and things from the lounge don't end up in the dining area, because when this happens, it makes the space look super messy. And finally, the last thing that can make your home look really messy is clear plastic hanging shoe organizers. This used to be all the rage on YouTube many years ago, and I used to think they looked so messy. People would put them on the back of their doors to try and maximize space, but as you can see, the contents of the compartments and the compartments dip and don't have any firm structure. The whole thing to me looks super messy. See if you can do away with that altogether and leave the back of your door clear. See if you can put things away in cabinets. If you can't, if you have a really small space, then obviously you might need to use something like this, but maybe look for something with a firmer structure and which isn't clear, so you don't have to see the contents of the organizer itself. But again, this is a suggestion. As with everything else on this list, I really don't mean to offend anyone. If you like any of the things that I mentioned, then have at it. Your space is your space and you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do with it. So don't let some lady on the internet tell you otherwise. So that brings me to the end of my video. If you like minimalism content, then I will link other relevant videos in the description below, and also my minimalism and decluttering playlist in the cards above. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!